Okay, let's start the video. Let's open up the project first. PSD file. Go to File, click on New, and that will open a new project. We are not opening a new project. We need a open. So from here we click open the PSD. Let's deal with this one first. Now this is your PSD. I have changed the fonts, made some changes in the PSDs. I have changed the fonts to the default one so you can easily edit it. Now we need to change the picture first. And these are the pictures layer. You can see these are the layer of picture. This picture is not visible. This is the second picture. Turn on, turn off. Now this is a black and white effect on a picture that you can turn on, turn off too. For example, this can be off. So let's move on the subject, how to change or bring in a new picture. So as I said, we can bring in the picture from here as well. Open pictures. Let me see if I have the picture here. Here's the picture that I want to use. Open. Now this is opening a picture in a new file. I can click and drag the picture here. This brought me the picture here. Now this is the background picture that I have brought in. To make it visible, I will have to turn off the picture that is above it. Now this is the picture, my actual picture. Now the picture size is very large, that's why I cannot see. So I'll zoom it out. This is the fine icon. Here must be a zoom. This is zoom and zoom out tool. Click, zoom out, and select the move tool. Move tool will make sure that the transform controls are on so you can see from where it starts and ends. Now click on the anchor and hold Alt Shift simultaneously. Drag the mouse towards the center to make the picture smaller. You can move it here. You can use the Alt sign to zoom it out as well. I'm making it more sure. I'm using Alt button with this. I'm holding Alt and moving my mouse scroller up and down to zoom in and zoom out. That's a shortcut. I can adjust the picture. Now the second PSD02, it's just simply move the position. You can turn on, you can delete the picture. Hit delete button, the picture will be removed. Hit delete button if you want to picture the remove, and if you want the picture to be in color, just simply turn off this black and white layer effect that I have above. This will show the picture. Here is your picture in black and white color. Okay. Now this is the thing that is the effect in the layer. Hold Shift, click to turn off this effect. Cross sign, hold Shift, click, turn on the effect. That's a brush tool. It's a more advanced kind of thing, but it can be done without it. You can bring a picture more landscape picture would be more suitable here, with the more on the left side. That will make a good case. So we need to be careful while selecting the picture for the PSDs. That's with all designs. But to deal with this kind of effect, this line, simply turn on and it's a black picture, so I can add a black shape here to deal with the pictures effect transition. Let's change the double click and change the color to slightly this. Let's see what effect does it bring. Good. So now, yeah, almost solved. This is a shape tool deleted. Now this can be extended here as well. You see. So this is how you have dealt with the picture. We can select a different picture. For example, let's turn this shape off. Keep our settings the same. Turn this. Now this is a picture that I'm using. Like, so you can see that the picture is landscape and it enough room, so it makes a smooth transition. You know, a landscape picture will work good here. Smooth transitions you can turn off to make it color. You can turn this off if it's visible. This layer brings the darker effect to make the text more visible. Now this is your brand color. Simple as that. You can move the picture here. Let's see, drag and drop. This is change the layer position. You can drag and drop it above. You can bring this effect here. Bring the black and white effect above the layer. It will make it black and white, right? And this time I'm using a default font that is already pre-installed on Photopea. Montserrat, you can see here, it's a Montserrat font. You can also use pop-in fonts. It's also similar font, but it's more in height if it works well. Now you can see it's more congested. So what we can do is we can increase the tracking. You know, this is the text type tool options. Each layer has properties that we can play with. Let's move to the tracking. Keep it 0. Hit enter. You can change the font. Now you can resize this layer by click, hold, and move up. See, I'm dragging the mouse outside. I'm dragging the mouse towards the center by holding shift so that it remains in proportion. This is how I'm resizing the text here. You can also resize the text by changing this size, right? Changing the size, I'm just simply moving mouse scroll up and down, scrolling up and scrolling down. You can use the slider as well to make the text where it's appropriate or seems good to you. Let's close it. Now to select a different layer, make sure what you can do is to select the layer, like select that layer that you want to make changes. Select second layer. These are the bullet points mentioned. These are bullets, turn on, turn off. This is the text group. And if you want move tool, if you want to, you can also turn on the auto select, so it will select the layers automatically. Click, selected, click, selected, click, selected, click, click, it's selected, click, it's selected, click, it's selected. This is another font. There are 2 fonts that I'm using in these PSDs. Now this is a DOSIS, which is already pre-installed, and it is the same kind of font that your website is also using. So this is it. This PSD was quite easy to edit. No, I don't want any changes. Let's move another, open an PSD. Now I'll try to bring in the projects in a different manner here. Let's drag and drop this PSD into my browser, Photopea, right? This is a PSD. You can see the font pop-ins loaded, pop-ins loaded. I've changed the font so you won't have to re-upload it manually. Similar kind of font, not exactly that font, but similar fonts. Now the problem you're facing is how to change the picture. I've also made few changes so to make it more simplified for you. Now this is a picture that you want to remove, okay, and this is the color effect. if you see, this is the color effect. Now if you see here, the color mode is multiply and the opacity is 100%. Opacity is transparency. I can change the opacity, light, down, bring it. I'm keeping it 100 here. I can change the blend modes. Blend modes, it actually does what it the color blends with the layer below. I'm making it normal. Right? You can see this is a solid color. Turn off, your picture is below, quite white. I've changed turn on. You cannot see what is beneath the color because the color is solid here. So if you decrease the opacity, you can see through the layer, and this effect can be applied to any layer, right? You can see through the layer 100%, right? You can make changes if you want to here, but I will keep it multiply because it makes typography much more clear to read and make it look easier and contrasting. Now this is a picture. You can see I have decreased the opacity of the picture here. Let me turn off the color layer. This is opacity. Now this is the actual picture here, and it's in color format. I can also make it black and white from luminous here. You see, it's a black and white picture. Now I can keep it gradient mode. I can change, apply any color and make it multiply here. You see, it's a black and white picture with black and white effect. Double click and change the angles. This is how it will change, but it is not required here. You can turn it off, and this will help you in bringing more of a PSD if you keep playing with this. Let's work with the color first. Now this is the first. Now this, I'll decrease the opacity of the picture to keep it around 50. Hit enter, so it remains more visible. Text remains more visible. Now let's change the picture. No problem. How can you change the picture? I've already downloaded the picture that I want to use. This is the picture. I'll click and drag it to the Photopea. Now I'm going to drop it here. Now the picture has dropped onto the subject. Commit changes. Now this is the picture. And the picture is above the color layer. That's why I can see it. Picture. Now if I move the picture below the color layer, it has changed. I can turn off the previous pictures because I do not need to work on it, right? And this brightness is also off. Let me delete this. Now this is the picture, and you can see the picture appears quite dark here. So what we can do is we can either change the blend mode to normal and decrease opacity. Every picture behaves differently, so we will have to play with it and check what works best. Now 85 appears good to me. I can also bring it down if I want the background more visible, but if that's not focused, the text is more focus. Now this is the picture. It's a color picture. I can also make this picture appear black. I'll go to adjustment panel and black and white. Click on the properties panel. Now this has made the layer black and white. Turn on, turn off. You can see here. If I turn the color layer on, yep, it is more smoother. There's an you can see, notice the change that it brings. The black and white picture has in fact is more harmonious and it's monochrome, so it behaves very well with blending modes. Now I need to spread the picture, so what I will do is I will hold Alt and Shift, click on one of the anchor corner and keep hold and drag out. I'm holding Alt and Shift, plus I have dragged out the picture to resize it. This is how I will resize. Like if I do without holding, it will not scale properly. If I do it without holding, it will lose its proportions. So make sure that we do it by holding Alt and Shift to keep it in proportion. Now I need to make it a little more to bring it appear centers. This position seems good. So this is how we change the layers. I can bring the layer upside the color. It will make it look like this. I can also change the blend mode of this picture so it can blend with the layer below. Multiply. Say, let's see, luminosity, right? Change the opacity of a picture. Make it overlay. Seems more good. I can make the picture black and white. Now the layer below is, now all the layers below the black and white effect makes all the layers black. So what we need to do is we need to select both the layers by holding Control and clipping mask. Okay, sorry. Select and clipping mask. Now the effect is applied only into the layer. You see, the picture seems quite visible here. We can also decrease the opacity to make it look more dim, right? So let's delete the effect. So the setting that I have set for you is that you simply drag and drop the picture. Let me do it again. Now this is your multiply layer. Now I'm deleting all the layers, and now this is your color layer. There is no picture. I will drag and drop the picture, resize it, let's turn off, it's automatically selecting the layers, turn off the auto select, and move it, picking us around the center, right? Multiply, and that's a normal picture. Let's make the picture black and white here. Color effect, make it 100% or make it bring the overlay to overlay or decrease the opacity. Hit delete, bring the picture above, make it multiply, decrease the opacity here, make sure it's set to normal so the effect can be applied. You can make it more simple. Also you can change the color of this layer here from like it's slider. You want to select color, you can enter the color. We'll go back to what was our previous color, this one. Cancel. Right. So this is how you change the pictures. You can keep the pictures black and white. These are interesting effects. You can try one by one all effects if you have a good picture. Now this is an interesting picture. This can work in black and white format as well. And to save, simply go save, export as JPG, 1080 by 1080, and quality, make the quality 100%. Save. Now your image saved, and here's your design. let's move on to now. Let's edit stories. Open PSD story 3, drag and drop Photopea. Change the fonts in all PSDs to Poppins. You can see the font is Poppin, right? It is a pre-installed font, you won't have to load it again and again. Now change the color. Make sure okay, auto select is open if you want to if you want to set the layers by clicking. Click, picture is activated. Now it has a brightness effect that I'm using here. Let's turn this layer off. It's also simply to edit. Bring the picture here. Simply change the pictures. Drag and drop on here. We can also drop here. Yeah, it also works here as well. Nice to know. Now hold Alt Control, resize the picture, and you see this picture works really well here. Make sure the picture covers the entire canvas, so it becomes a seamless, creates a seamless effect. Bring it down, set the position, select, commit changes. Right, same again. Now you can move or change the text or hit enter, commit changes. Select move tool, select the layer from here because its auto select is open. It's become quite messy times, so select and resize it. Enter. You can change the font weight from the font panel. It's light currently, you can make it look, this is the whole font family of Poppins, thin, light. You can make it extra bold like above, and or you can size, change the color to let's say I'm going to pick a color picker here. This eyedropper is a color picker, and make it look yep, click here, color is selected. Double click this and click on this 50%. It will copy the color. Okay, all is good, right? This is your CTA. You can change the color of your button here if you want to. For example, double click and make it yellow. This is a pre-mode. You can change, enter your code here. For example, 2585 KK. Now I don't know what color it will make it look like. It's a blue color, right? Your brand has a hex code, so you can use enter the hex codes manually here. I'll go with this one, make the colors pop. Okay, and change the color of this one. Okay, 50% off. So this is how your story is edited. Simply drag and drop the picture. You can bring in some new pictures from splash unsplash, beautiful images, fitness. This is cool. This is a good picture for a story. Let's copy this picture and control V. Now the image is pasted here. You can move it, bring it here. Simply turn on, turn off if you want to keep it white. That's blue layer. You can color fill it. You can change the blend mode here. Multiply. Screen is a very bright color. Overlay this way. Or you can keep it simple. Turn off, turn on the other layers. Right? You can make the picture black here. You will have to play with it to bring the best of the image. Let's make it black to bring out the monochrome contrasting effect and resize the picture through more. Hit enter. Okay, what I've done, I've simply drag and drop the pictures at the bottom, and that's it. Like save it in PNG format or save export as JPEG. JPEG is more suitable for images, where PNG is for illustrating images to keep the size short. It stores more data. PNG. Make it 100%. That's the storage size. Save it. Your storage save. That's it.